We were 3 years into what I believed was a loving, genuine relationship when everything crumbled in under 3 minutes. I never imagined I'd find myself in a position like this, used not for love, not for companionship, but as a means to an end. And yet, that's exactly what happened. I'm 34, a software developer. Met Amelia, 31, during a community garden project my company was supporting. She was leading a workshop on urban sustainability. There was something magnetic about her passion, her articulate way of speaking, her idealism. She worked in marketing for an environmental nonprofit, and despite the obvious pay gap between our careers, we connected instantly. We shared similar music tastes, the same dry humor, and a deep desire to make the world a better place. Within 6 months, she moved into my apartment. We'd made a practical arrangement. I earned more, substantially more. She, on the other hand, was buried under student loans but loved what she did. I took on the bulk of our expenses: rent, utilities, vacations, and dining out. She covered groceries, her car, and promised to build an emergency fund for the both of us. It felt fair. I didn't mind supporting someone I loved, especially when that support meant she could pursue work that fulfilled her. I never once questioned her intentions. We built a life together, or at least I thought we did. We hosted friends, traveled, talked about the future. I'd been quietly saving for a ring, thinking Barcelona, our upcoming trip, would be the perfect place to propose. But last Wednesday, everything changed. She was on a Zoom call in the living room with her marketing team, while I worked from my home office in the next room, headphones on, immersed in code. I took them off briefly, needed to ask her something about dinner with my parents. That's when I heard it. Her voice was low, too casual, too intimate for a professional setting. She was talking to her coworker, Jenna. So he mentioned Barcelona might be extra special this time. God, I hope he doesn't propose. How do you politely reject a man who pays your rent? I froze. Jenna laughed. That's awkward. Just marry him and divorce later. You'd get half his stuff. They both laughed, like it was some shared joke at my expense. I know, right? Amelia said, still laughing. But seriously, I'm not ready to lock myself down, especially not to Charles. He's sweet but so boring. Like the human version of beige walls. But those beige walls come with financial stability. Jenna agreed. Exactly. That's the only reason I've stayed this long, Amelia went on. My savings account has never looked better. I've almost paid off my loans. Another year max, and I'll have enough cushion to move on. I just need to buy time without ending up with a ring on my finger. Does he have any idea? Jenna asked. None, she replied. Last week he was talking about starting a family someday, and I just nodded and smiled, while mentally calculating how much more I need to save before I can get out. The trick, she said, is to give just enough affection to keep him happy, without promising anything concrete. Then, as if nothing had happened, her tone switched. Someone must have returned to the call. Oh, looks like Marcus is back. I'll send over the campaign drafts by end of day. I stood frozen in the hallway. Not angry. Not even sad yet. Just hollow. Like someone had scooped out everything I believed about us and left me with the empty shell. Every moment we shared, every laugh, every night curled up on the couch. It all felt like a script I hadn't realized I was acting in. I didn't confront her. Didn't break down. Didn't demand answers. We had dinner that night. Watched our usual show. Slept in the same bed. I stared at the ceiling for hours, unmoving, while she slept beside me as if nothing had changed. But something had. Everything had. The next morning, I woke up early and quietly set a plan in motion. I canceled dinner plans with my parents, told them work had come up. Then I called my bank and credit card companies. I had added Amelia as an authorized user on 2 cards, for emergencies, for groceries, for us. I had those privileges revoked immediately and expedited new cards just for me. I logged into all our utility accounts and updated payment info to draw directly from my checking account, one she had no access to. I contacted my landlord to start a conversation about our lease. I didn't have all the answers yet, but I knew I wanted her out of my space. Then I messaged my best friend, Marco. Told him I needed a place to crash for a few days. No questions asked, he said yes. For the next 2 days, I played my role. We cooked, we talked, we existed like always. But inside, I was somewhere else, grieving not just the relationship, but the version of myself that had believed in it so fiercely. The man who thought love meant sacrifice. The man who thought he'd found his person. Now I just feel like a fool who mistook dependency for intimacy. And the worst part, I still miss her. Or maybe just the illusion of her, the Amelia I thought I knew. She never saw it coming. That alone told me everything I needed to know. How little she paid attention to the man she was sharing her life with. How blind she was to the silence that had settled between us like dust on forgotten furniture. I had to wait to move carefully to make sure everything was in place. On Friday, when she mentioned she'd be out late with friends after work, I knew it was the perfect time. While she laughed over cocktails, I moved through our apartment with quiet purpose. I packed only the essentials: clothes, my laptop and work gear, vital documents, and a few pieces of my past I couldn't bear to leave behind. Things that still meant something, even now. I didn't change the locks. Legally, I couldn't. But I did retrieve the emergency credit card she'd stashed in her desk drawer. Another piece of our now-defunct arrangement. I left a note on the kitchen counter. Simple. Honest. Asterisk Amelia, I heard your conversation with Jenna on Wednesday. I know about your plans to leave once you've saved enough money. I've removed you from my accounts and taken back the emergency credit card. I'll continue covering rent through the end of next month so you can make arrangements, but all other financial support ends today. I deserve more than to be someone's stepping stone. Charles Asterisk. I slipped out without a word and drove to Marco's place. I turned off my phone and let the silence stretch around me like a warm, numbing fog. By Sunday morning, the storm had rolled in. My phone, once still, now buzzed with the weight of 47 missed calls, 16 voicemails, and 39 texts. They read like a tragic play unraveling in real time. Confusion, denial, pleading, fury. Her first messages were full of feigned innocence. Asterisk, what conversation with Jenna? What are you talking about? I don't understand, asterisk. Then came the pushback. Asterisk, you're blowing this out of proportion. You misheard. This is insane, asterisk. When that didn't work, she pivoted. Asterisk, baby, please call me. This is a huge misunderstanding. Just talk to me, asterisk. And finally, a desperate spin of the truth. Asterisk, okay, fine, maybe you heard something, but it's not what you think. I was just venting. People say things they don't mean sometimes. Asterisk. But the deeper her panic sank, the more her real fear revealed itself. Not heartbreak, not regret, just the sheer terror of losing her safety net. Asterisk, I can't afford this place alone, and you know that. What am I supposed to do? I only have $1,726 in my account, and my student loan payment is due next week. You can't just cut me off like this. At least help me plan a transition. This isn't fair, asterisk. That word, asterisk fair asterisk, hit me like a slap. Fair was pretending to love someone while quietly planning your exit the moment you were financially ready. Fair was letting someone pour their time, money, and heart into a future you never intended to share. Marco, as always, came through. He didn't hesitate to offer shelter, and when I finally told him everything, he wasn't even shocked. He'd seen her. He told me he and a few others had noticed how calculated her affection seemed, how it always seemed to swell around the holidays after a big purchase or just before she asked for something. She was always more invested in what you could give than who you were, he said quietly. That was the first time I allowed myself to truly feel the betrayal. But the most revealing moment came from someone unexpected. Jenna. She called me directly, her voice unsteady and remorseful. I need you to know, I never thought she was serious, she said. I thought it was just dark humor between friends. Then she dropped the final curtain. Amelia had told everyone at work that I'd abandoned her out of nowhere, painted herself as the blindsided victim. But Jenna couldn't let it stand. She confessed this wasn't the first time Amelia had done this. She'd lived with 2 other boyfriends under similar setups before me. Each relationship followed the same script. Find someone financially stable, let them shoulder the weight of life's expenses while she saved every dime, then disappear once she'd built enough cushion to fly solo. She has a spreadsheet, Jenna said, with savings goals for every stage of her exit plan. Your name is literally in a cell next to a dollar amount. That was the moment I stopped feeling stupid and started feeling free. It wasn't about me being beige or boring. It was never about love. It was a strategy, one she had perfected over time. A system built on manipulation masked as charm. 10 days have passed since I left. I've moved back into the apartment. Amelia, after scrambling to find a friend's couch, has until the end of next month to gather her belongings. True to form, she cycled through every emotional tactic she has: apologies, guilt trips, even desperation cloaked in seduction. One night she showed up in lingerie beneath her coat, thinking sex could rewind time. I didn't let her in. The financial aftermath has been sobering. When I looked at my records, the truth stared back at me. Over $64,000 spent supporting her through 3 years of rent, utilities, vacations, dinners, holidays, and gifts. Meanwhile, she was hoarding her income, playing the long game. That claim about having only $1,726? A lie. During one heated call, she let slip she had a separate savings account with over $27,000 in it. Some friends say I should feel embarrassed, ashamed even. But I don't. I know who I am. I entered that relationship with real intentions and a full heart. That someone else chose to exploit it says everything about them and nothing about me. I've donated the engagement ring, the one I'd quietly picked out months ago, to a charity auction. Watching something that once symbolized my future transform into something good for someone else brought a strange, quiet peace. The missed calls have now crossed 100. Most are from unknown numbers, her friends, I'm guessing, trying to get past the blocks. I don't answer anymore. And strangely, I feel lighter. Not happy, not yet, but relieved. There's a certain clarity that comes when your worst fears are confirmed. You stop wondering. Stop doubting. Stop clinging to what was never real. I don't regret loving her. I regret that she didn't love me back. But I found out before the ring, before marriage, before shared bank accounts and children. I escaped the trap before it closed. If there's one lesson I'll carry from all this, it's this. When someone shows you who they are, even in a whisper, believe them. And if you're going to plot your exit strategy on a Zoom call, make sure you're actually on mute.